Dexter, he's really getting into cleaning his feet. Like, he's chewing on his nails. You know what? When I was a little girl, like we're little, I used to I'd be sitting on the couch. I'd be like 3, 4, 5, I don't know how old. And I would bite my toenails. Yeah, I'm sure there's some deep seated issue with that. And my mom would say, "Stop that. That's dirty." I don't know why I did it. Look, he's shocked. Well, you're still doing it, Dexter, and I didn't. You're an adult. Excuse me. You're an adult, and you're still doing it. I said I was a little kid when I did it. Okay, I'd sit on the flexible, foot up to the mouth, biting the toenail. Soft. Don't ask why. It just happened. It's not like I ever saw it. And then my mom cured me of it. That's for sure. And I used to do another thing that drove her nuts. I used to walk around on my tippy toes all the time. And you'll read some deep psychological thing about people who walk on their tippy toes. You know that they've got a cold mother or a bunch of other stuff. Probably she was cold, but I'll tell you what I was thinking, because I was the person doing it. I just wanted to be taller. In my head, I wanted to be taller. But if you people who walk on their tippy toes, they've got some of these issues. Well, I guess I have some of them. And then it stops, because my mom would say, "Look at her." She'd always say that. Don't ever say that about your kids. Don't go look at them and then say something negative. They hear you, and certainly don't do it to someone else, right? Look at her. Is she doing that? What a weird weirdo. See, I can laugh at these things now because I'm a lot older. I feel sometimes people dwell on things that happened, a long time ago. And rules their whole world. It rules their whole world. I used to be like that when I was super young. And I moved away from home. I did, Dex, when I was 17 years old. And I got a place and a bunch of crappy jobs so I could barely eat. And I used to think, oh, I wish I had a better start in life. I wish I was brought up with normal people. I wish. That went on till I was about 23. And back then, of course, we didn't have the internet. If you wanted to read books or get some help with an attitude or a problem you're having, you basically had to go to the library. That's what you had to do. Hey, so I went to the library and I found a book. And I wish I could tell you what it is. Dex, we're not done yet here with this psychological talk. Anyway, I read a book and it said stop dwelling in all this stuff. And basically the suggestion was think about every bad thing that happened to you and don't think about it again. Don't dwell on it. Hey, and like think about it, cry about it, whatever you need to do about it. And then never let it come in your mind again. If it pops in there, just say, not today. It's funny, sometimes if you say things like that, like if you I thought it was kind of stupid at first, right? But it worked. It worked because why do you want to keep thinking about these things, these bad, horrible things, or maybe they weren't so horrible or they hurt you? Why do you want to keep thinking about them over and over and over and over? Guaranteed the people who said them or did them aren't thinking about it, not one iota. So don't do that. Dexter certainly doesn't. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Anyhow, don't keep dwelling on it. Like when I used to be a dweller and now I don't dwell. It's so much better. I used to stay up all night thinking about, when I can't sleep, it's because I've had too much coffee. But I used to just dwell, right? And so this book, I wish I could tell you what it was called, but I read it and it said, think about, okay, go ahead, think about it. And then don't you ever do it again. Don't dwell in it. If it pops in your mind, you just say, go away, not, or whatever it is. And it really works. It does over time. And every once in a while, a story will pop in my head, but I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel bad about it anymore. You know, I've got some stories, but I can't tell them all. I can't tell them all. So, anyway, don't worry about stuff. I know there's been some horrific, horrible things that have happened, and not so horrific, but it doesn't help. I watch this. You know, I'm not. What do you call it? I'm not anti psychologists or whatever at all. It's just, I don't know. I think it depends on the person you're going to. You know, like, oh, let's talk about what happened to you when you were 5. How did that make you feel? Oh, you felt really crappy then. Tell me about how crappy you felt when you were 5 and that thing happened. And then you go back and then they're like, oh, let's talk about what that crappy thing that happened to you. Let's just reinforce how bad you felt and how it changed the course of your life or whatever. It's just an example. And then they keep going on and on, like I am right now. See, look, he's gonna go to sleep. We're almost done, Dex. And so that's what I don't like. Well, that must have made you feel bad. You must have felt all alone and, helpless. I know I'm making fun of it, but what I'm trying to say is, how is that good for you? How in any way is that good for you? It's not good to stuff things deep down inside, but it's also not good to keep baking that cake. You know what I mean? It's just not. Over and over. I talked to someone who went to 3 different shrinks, and I don't know how they afford it. And they got to tell that story to 3 different people 3 times a week. And I was like, and how do you feel? And I was like, maybe that's not a good idea. See, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. But all I know is that if somebody was telling me every 3 times a week, how did you feel? It's supposed to release things, I know. But you know what? It can also reinforce them. Just be careful out there. And again, I have to say this because I am not a doctor. You do you. You do you. But maybe say to your shrink, look, can we move on? Can we move on? And there'll be someone who'll write me, how dare you express an opinion? I want to see your plaque on your wall or your degree, because YouTube's is wild. You can't have an opinion about anything without having a plaque. Like me talking about Dexter and how he was not feeling well, and I thought maybe it was because there was some bird, poo out and he smelled it, and I thought maybe he got some, and someone actually sent me, well, you think you're a doctor now, don't you? I mean, what in the crazy? And then, where you talk about your cat's nutrition. Oh, so you're a nutritionist. Can I see your degree? So before you talk about anything in this life, do you know that there's a lot of people who go to school to teach and do things, and they don't actually do the thing or have ever experienced the thing? I'm just going to let you know. Just like when you go to a doctor for a serious illness or something, they had to learn that in school. Thank goodness someone's learning something. But that was a poor analogy. But what I'm saying is you should be able to express your opinion within reason. It's just if you're telling people not to do things, you shouldn't. Like, I would never tell people, don't go see 3 shrinks. Don't go see them in a week so they can tell you how crappy your life was over and over. I would never say that. I'm just saying. Maybe you should say, hey, can you move on? Can we start a new subject so that I can pay you by the hour, hundreds of dollars to reinforce my crappy childhood? I'm just saying. You know what? I sound negative, but I'm just saying. I better go. This is getting ridiculous. Even Dexter's like, you need to, shh, right now. Okay, that's it.